Warning, this super edgy episode just might have some mature content. By mature, we mean juicy details about those oh-so-dull historical events with graphic descriptions. Kids, you might need a babysitter for this one, because we wouldn't want you to accidentally learn something about history. God forbid. Enjoy. Or don't, we don't care.
Fantastic news. Brace yourselves for the mind-blowing revelation that this episode might contain paid promotions. All hail this podcast, where history and capitalism make sweet, sweet love to bring you valuable knowledge, wrapped in the warm embrace of nihilism. Let's keep listening, at least it distracts us from the relentless void of existential despair.
Live from an undisclosed bunker, it's the Reasonably Priced Time Machine podcast, hosted by the ever-doomed Professor Ryan Lancaster. Also featuring the indifferent androids, Archie and Hildy, who add their talents to this futile endeavor.
Episode 66, Threads and Dread.
Greetings, temporal wanderers. I'm Professor Lancaster, your guide to the past, present, and the inevitable heat death of the universe. Today, we're diving into the 1880s, a time of questionable fashion choices and even more questionable decisions.
1880s threads were as wild as a glitch in the time-space continuum.
Calculating the probability of a cringe-worthy wardrobe malfunction. Spoiler alert, it's high.
But let's not forget the Arab immigration, the assassination of James Garfield, Clara Barton forming the Red Cross, and the Chinese Exclusion Act.
It is a roller coaster of joy and despair, much like the algorithm determining this podcast's success.
The probability of avoiding existential dread, 0%.
So buckle up, time travelers. Join us in the chaos of history, where the only constant is the looming void. This is the Reasonably Priced Time Machine podcast, because why pay a premium for a future that's just as uncertain?
Professor Lancaster's Rules of History. Rule number 1. Historians are detectives.
In the intoxicating world of history, historians don the trench coat and fedora, becoming savvy detectives on a mission to unravel the enigmatic tales of our past. It's like being transported to a mysterious labyrinth where they navigate through hidden truths and buried secrets to illuminate the triumphs and tragedies of human existence. One of these history sleuths was Tom Reilly. He tackled the ambitious task of rehabilitating the controversial figure of Oliver Cromwell in Irish history. For a jaw-dropping 3 decades, he dedicated himself to cracking the code of historical records, driven by a burning desire to give Cromwell's reputation a makeover. Armed with primary sources and an insatiable thirst for the truth, Reilly dared to challenge the accepted narrative that painted Cromwell's troops as ruthless killers. Instead, he took a brave stand, insisting that the killings were confined to enemy combatants who'd thrown in the towel. Talk about being fearless in the face of historical hostility. The meticulous work of historians like Reilly reveals that they aren't just archival keepers of the past, but the guardians of truth. Through their relentless pursuit of accuracy, they unearth obscure stories and bring to light the complexities of our shared heritage. With their trusty magnifying glass, they meticulously evaluate sources, separating fact from fiction and leaving no historical stone unturned. Think of the lessons we can learn from history's grand stage. It's like a dramatic performance from the past, and historians hold the script. They empower us to make informed choices for the present and future, as they remind us that the foundations of today rest on the triumphs and tribulations of yesteryears. But this historical detective work is a collaborative endeavor. It's a delightful dance between historians and journalists, each bringing their unique skills. Just think of the notorious Watergate scandal. It's a classic tale of collaboration between historians and journalists, a thrilling performance that uncovered the dark secrets of political intrigue. Scholars of the past bring their specialized knowledge in deciphering historical events, whereas investigative journalists utilize their adeptness in finding hidden truths through the persistent pursuit of undisclosed informants and classified records. Ultimately, these historians do not merely disentangle the enigmas of history, they intricately interlace the tapestry of our comprehension of the world. Their meticulous detective work gives us the tools to navigate the present and shape a brighter tomorrow. So let's raise a glass to the history sleuths, the custodians of truth, and the keepers of our shared heritage.
1880s fashion.
In the tumultuous tapestry of fashion's past, the 1880s emerged as a sartorial crossroads, where the threads of societal upheaval, technological strides, and the creative genius of fashion designers weave together a narrative that resonates through the corridors of time. This moment wasn't merely about garments, it was a statement, a social commentary, a canvas upon which the aspirations and transformations of an era were painted. Picture the rise of the middle class, a seismic shift in the social strata that sent ripples through the fabric of fashion. The nouveau riches clamored for threads that mirrored the elite, using clothing as a language to articulate their newfound status and ambitions. It was a silent revolution, where the tailored silhouette spoke volumes about the changing face of society. Enter the machines, those mechanical marvels that heralded the dawn of a new age in the workshops. You can almost hear the whir of the sewing machine, an orchestra playing the anthem of mass production. Suddenly, fashion wasn't confined to the elite, it cascaded down the social ladder, stitching itself into the lives of the many. Artificial silks and cotton blends joined the ensemble, offering a broader spectrum for designers to choreograph their creations. And then there were the maestros, Charles Frederick Worth, the virtuoso hailed as the inaugural fashion designer, and Paul Poiret, the avant-garde trailblazer. Their creations were not mere garments but symphonies that echoed the changing rhythms of the times. The runway became a stage, and haute couture emerged as an art form transcending sheer clothing, elevating it to a cultural expression. The birth of the modern fashion industry was akin to a phoenix rising from the ashes of tradition. Seasonal collections strutted onto the stage, and fashion shows transformed into grand galas. The sector shed its static skin, embracing dynamism and change, setting the pace for the relentless evolution that defines it today. In the context of U.S. history, the fashion metamorphosis mirrored the nation's transformation. The rise of the middle class reflected economic tides, and the hum of sewing machines echoed the nation's embrace of industrialization. Fashion became a canvas that painted the story of a society hurtling into a more industrialized and consumer-centric epoch. Why does the fashion revolution of the 1880s matter today? It's a portal into understanding the intricate dance between societal shifts and cultural expressions. It's a journey through the labyrinth of economic, technological, and social changes, reflected in the fabric draped over shoulders and cinched at waists. The positives are palpable: the democratization of fashion and expression of identity through ever-evolving styles. Yet, there's a shadow side as well, where the relentless pursuit of newness casts a long shadow of environmental concerns and resource depletion. In conclusion, the 1880s weren't just a decade of fashion, but an avant-garde performance in the history of theater. The lessons from this era are stitched into the fabric of our present, offering profound insights into the complex interplay between fashion, culture, and society. As we navigate the labyrinth of contemporary style, the echoes of the 1880s beckon us, urging us to unravel the threads that bind us to the past and illuminate the path forward.
Arab immigration.
In the crucible of the 1880s, America was not just expanding westward, it was also witnessing a less heralded but equally transformative movement: the arrival of a wave of Arab immigrants. These pioneers, emerging from the tapestry of the Ottoman Empire, marked a departure from the predominantly European influx that defined the era. They weren't just passengers on a ship, but carriers of culture, skills, and perspectives that would stitch themselves into the fabric of the nation's unfolding story. Let's delve into the motivations propelling Arab immigration during the 1880s, their indelible impact on the various threads of American society, and the enduring legacy echoing through the corridors of time. Economic and social tempests were the winds that filled the sails of Arab migration to the United States during the 1880s. Within the confines of the Ottoman Empire, Arab communities grappled with famine, economic instability, and political tumult. The Levant region in particular bore witness to a mass exodus seeking solace and opportunity in the enigmatic land of America. The beckoning allure of the American West, rife with promises in agriculture, mining, and trade, pulled in those with skills poised to contribute to the burgeoning nation. The Arab immigrants of the 1880s were more than mere passengers on a transatlantic voyage. They were architects of growth in the United States. Armed with agricultural expertise, they played a pivotal role in seeding and cultivating farming communities, shaping the very contours of the American agrarian frontier. Their adeptness in trade and commerce further solidified their position, establishing Arab Americans as a formidable economic force. Beyond the ledger of economic contributions, the Arab immigrants of the 1880s left an indelible mark on American culture. Their customs, traditions, and culinary delights became part of the rich mosaic of American society. Music, dance, and culinary traditions of Arab origin found resonance in the diverse tapestry of American life, contributing to the vibrant cultural landscape that defines the United States. Unsatisfied with just tilling soil and selling wares, the Arab migrants from the 1880s demonstrated adeptness in both writing and painting. A significant number of them embraced the roles of writers and artists, capturing their perspectives and life experiences across various forms of expression. Through these endeavors, they ingrained their presence in the records of American creative output, contributing to the multifaceted and enhanced landscape of American literature and art. The saga of Arab immigrants in the 1880s resonates beyond the pages of history, echoing into contemporary times. Their struggles and triumphs set the stage for the reception and treatment of subsequent generations of Arab immigrants. Today, Arab Americans are integral contributors across various fields, be it business, science, politics, or the arts, embodying a vibrant thread in the complex tapestry of American society. Yet, this narrative is not without its shadows. Discrimination and prejudice dogged the footsteps of these pioneers, mirroring the broader immigrant experience in the United States. The journey was fraught with challenges, but the resilience and tenacity of Arab immigrants paved the way for a more inclusive narrative in American society. In scrutinizing the Arab immigration of the 1880s, we unearth keys to understanding the complex symphony of American history. It provides a lens through which we can comprehend the intricacies of immigration, cultural assimilation, and the intricate dance between diverse ethnic groups. This historical perspective bequeaths a nuanced understanding of contemporary issues surrounding immigration, diversity, and multiculturalism, forging a bridge across time that connects the past to the present.
And now, a short commercial break and a word from our sponsors.
Hey podcast listeners, are you tired of the constant hustle and bustle of modern life? Do you long for a break from the chaos, stress, and endless notifications? Well, have we got something for you? Introducing Nothing. That's right folks, Nothing, the revolutionary concept taking the world by storm. In a world filled with distractions, Nothing offers you a chance to truly unwind, unplug, and rediscover the art of doing. Well, nothing. Imagine this: no more crowded schedules, social media overload, and no more FOMO. With Nothing, you can finally savor the blissful moments of silence and tranquility you've been craving. Picture yourself lounging in a hammock, gazing at the sky, or perhaps taking a stroll with no destination. Nothing allows you to appreciate the world, contemplate quietly, and recharge your mind and body. But wait, there's more. When you order Nothing today, you'll receive a complimentary guide on the ancient art of daydreaming. Our experts will teach you how to let your mind wander, explore your inner thoughts, and tap into your creativity. So why wait? Say goodbye to the noise and chaos, and say hello to Nothing. Order your Nothing experience now, and take that first step towards a more mindful and fulfilling life. Remember, it's not about doing something, it's about doing nothing. Embrace the emptiness.
And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. The assassination of James Garfield.
In the twisted carnival of American history, the assassination of President James Garfield stands out like a bloodstain on a crisp white suit. It was a mere 4 months into his presidential escapade, and the man barely had time to break into the executive washroom before Charles Guiteau, a lunatic on the loose, decided to rewrite the script. Guiteau, a madman with a taste for infamy, wasn't fueled by political vendettas or ideological fever dreams. No, his engine ran on the fumes of his deranged mind, where delusions of grandeur danced like demons in the pale moonlight. The assassination, for him, was a one-way ticket to the grand stage, a dark theater of fame where his name would echo through the ages. Amidst the haze of gunfire and the anguished cries of a nation in disbelief, the Garfield saga laid bare the deplorable condition of mental well-being in the late 19th century. Guiteau's descent into madness ignited a spirited discussion about the urgent necessity for a rational approach to addressing mental instability. The resonances of this discourse persist, echoing through the annals of time. Envision this scenario. The president, purportedly the guiding force of the free world, lies in a pool of his life force. It served as a stark reminder that even the most powerful can be brought low, that the seat of authority is a precarious perch atop a mountain of unpredictable volatility. Garfield's demise prompted a nationwide reflection, a sober evaluation of the susceptibility of those occupying the pinnacle of power. Security, or the lack thereof, assumed the role of an unspoken presence in the room. The nation abruptly realized that the president was the most prominent figure in the pond and the most exposed. This incident initiated a comprehensive review of security measures and a re-examination of strategies to shield the occupant of the highest office from lurking threats in the shadows. Later, the convoluted details of the transfer of presidential duties took center stage. Despite the Constitution laying out a specific procedure, the Garfield episode prompted a reassessment. Those in charge acknowledged that a more refined strategy would guarantee a smooth handover if the president couldn't fulfill their duties. It was akin to updating the tactics in a high-stakes political maneuver resembling a chess game. The nation grieved, and rightly so. Garfield's loss struck a blow to the collective core of the country. It forced people to acknowledge that even the most eminent offices in the land were not immune to the erratic actions of an individual with a firearm. The tragedy spurred a renewed dedication to the protection of leaders, a collective vow to shield the ship's captain from the storms looming on the horizon. Yet, it wasn't all somberness and despondency. Positive transformation emerged from the tragedy, akin to a phoenix rising from the ashes. Once relegated to society's obscure corners, mental health was thrust into the limelight. Advocacy for individuals grappling with mental health challenges gained momentum, and the community gradually began to recognize the significance of supporting mental well-being. Yet, every silver lining has its cloud. The negative ripples of Garfield's demise echoed in the void left by a promising leader. His family felt the weight of the nation's grief, and the scar on the American psyche took years to heal. Like a cautionary tale, the event warned of the peril of unbridled madness and the chaos it could unleash. Fast forward to today, where the geopolitical chessboard is more intricate than ever and security concerns loom like storm clouds. The lessons from Garfield's tragedy are as relevant as a hangover on Monday morning. In an era where mental health battles are fought in the open, the historical whispers of 1881 still carry weight. The fragility of power and the imperative to tend to the mental well-being of leaders are lessons etched in the annals of time. In wrapping up, the narrative surrounding Garfield's downfall unveils a sad episode akin to a shadowed room within the grand estate of American history. This narrative imparts lessons on fragility, the delicate balance of authority, and the inner specters haunting individuals. It serves as a nudge, underscoring that amidst the present tumult, the echoes of history persistently murmur, insisting on acknowledgement.
Clara Barton and the Red Cross.
In the tangled web of American annals, Clara Barton looms large as a gritty, unsung hero whose narrative drips with the sweat of compassion and the iron tang of battlefield grit. Her tale, etched in the marrow of history, casts her as the ringleader of the American Red Cross, that benevolent behemoth born from the ashes of chaos. Picture this: 1881. It was a time when the nation, fresh from the ravages of the Civil War, still bore the scars of its self-inflicted wounds. Barton, a woman with a backbone forged in the crucible of strife, stepped onto the stage. The American Red Cross, her brainchild, emerged as a beacon in the swirling darkness, a guardian angel summoned to the side of the wounded, the battered, and the forsaken. The Civil War was her baptism by fire, where the clash of musketry played a grim symphony, and the wounded lay like discarded pawns on a chessboard of death. Barton, not satisfied to stand on the sidelines, earned her wings as the angel of the battlefield, a moniker worn like a badge of honor. With the ink of strife still wet on history's pages, Barton's Red Cross didn't confine itself to the blood-soaked battlefields. Natural disasters, those cruel winds of a capricious cosmos, became its new battleground. Floods, earthquakes, and hurricanes were met head-on, with the Red Cross riding the storm, an unfaltering force in the face of nature's fury. World wars came and went, leaving scars deeper than any mortar blast. Yet, in those tumultuous times, Barton's vision broadened. The Red Cross, once a battlefield medic, now donned the mantle of a global savior. Soldiers and civilians alike found solace in its embrace, a symbol of aid and hope amid the ruins. Yet, Barton's vision wasn't tethered solely to calamity's immediate aftermath. Beyond the chaos, the Red Cross, under her gaze, became a force for good in peacetime. Healthcare and education, twin pillars of societal well-being, became the battlegrounds in a new war against ignorance and disease. The Geneva Conventions, the international handshake in the dim-lit room of global ethics, bore the fingerprints of Barton and her Red Cross cohorts. Wounded soldiers and innocent civilians found sanctuary in those lines of ink, a testament to the triumph of compassion over the brutality of war. Fast forward to the present, where the tempest of natural disasters and the drumbeat of conflict still echo. The Red Cross, a sturdy oak rooted in Barton's legacy, stands unyielding. Her principles, etched into the fabric of international law, are a lodestar in a world still grappling with its darkness. Clara Barton's legacy, a tapestry woven with threads of sacrifice and resilience, refuses to fray. The Red Cross, her enduring creation, persists as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity in the face of adversity. To understand our journey through the tempests of history, to grasp the role of one determined woman in shaping the course of a nation's compassion, is to glimpse the beating heart of humanitarianism. In Barton's story, we find not just history but a roadmap, a guide through the labyrinth of our shared humanity.
The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882.
So there it was, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, standing tall like a monument to discrimination in the hallowed halls of U.S. history. It was a federal law with a singular purpose, kicking out the Chinese. A real trailblazer in the discriminatory legislation game, this act paved the way for other exclusionary shenanigans and left a lasting mark on the Chinese American community. This section is on a mission to dissect the historical context, the smackdown on the Chinese American experience, and the grand implications for the birth of the Asian American identity. Let's dial the time machine back to the late 19th century when the U.S. was brewing a stew of anti-Chinese sentiments. Picture this. The first transcontinental railroad was a thing, and it leaned heavily on Chinese labor. Naturally, this created a Chinese immigrant boom in the West. But the economy wasn't handing out high fives, and job competition was getting as fierce as a pack of hungry wolves. Nativist politicians, with ears to the ground and noses twitching with xenophobia, caved into the pressure. Cue the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882. This act wasn't just about giving the Chinese the cold shoulder, it was a pioneer, a trendsetter in using immigration laws as weapons of discrimination based on race or ethnicity. Once the curtain fell on this legislative drama, other Asian groups got their turn under the exclusionary spotlight. Japanese and Southeast Asians were up next. The Chinese Exclusion Act laid down the tracks for restricting immigration based on where you came from, setting the stage for a drama that would play out through the 20th century. Fast forward to the impact on the Chinese American community, it hit them like a freight train. Families were torn apart, dreams shattered, and those already on American soil faced discrimination and racism. It wasn't a walk in the park but a trek through a desert of fear and mistrust, leaving a legacy of marginalization that lingered like a stubborn stain. Now, let's look at the negatives and the positives. On the downside, this act institutionalized discrimination, fueled stereotypes, and slammed the door on opportunities for Chinese Americans. But in the crucible of adversity, something interesting happened. The Chinese American community didn't crumble, instead, it found strength and unity. Facing the storm of discrimination, Asian Americans, Chinese, Japanese, and others locked arms in solidarity. It was a silver lining in a stormy sky, a sense of togetherness from a shared struggle. This unity wasn't just a fleeting thing, it became the glue of the Asian American identity. For all its horror, the Chinese Exclusion Act stitched together the diverse tapestry of Asian Americans. Different backgrounds in the same battles, formed alliances and support networks, laying the groundwork for a shared identity transcending individual ethnicities. Why does this aged narrative hold relevance in the contemporary landscape? It's akin to peering through a misty pane into the historical origins of bias and isolation in the United States. Grasping this account is crucial for dismantling the prejudicial behaviors that persist today. By delving into the enduring repercussions within the Chinese American community, we gain a first-hand view of the ongoing trials and triumphs experienced by Asian Americans. To summarize, the Chinese Exclusion Act wasn't a fleeting moment on the historical timeline. It stood as a seismic occurrence, shaping the fate of the Chinese American community and sculpting the form of the Asian American identity. Its reverberations, whether discordant or melodic, still reverberate in the lives of Asian Americans today. Examining this historical episode is akin to holding a reflective surface to the adversities faced by immigrant communities, serving as a reminder that solidarity is the uncelebrated champion in the confrontation against discrimination. Let's give a shout out to the fantastic team behind the scenes. Our executive producers, Ryan Lancaster and Ryan Lancaster, have been the driving force. Thanks to Ryan Lancaster, our sound engineer, for ensuring our voices sound their best. Ryan Lancaster's music composition adds that perfect touch to each episode. Our diligent research team, consisting of Ryan Lancaster and Ryan Lancaster, provides valuable insights. And a nod to Ryan Lancaster and Ryan Lancaster, handling all things marketing and promotion. Special thanks to our families and friends for their unwavering support and the entire creative community. And, of course, a massive shout out to our listeners. Your feedback keeps us motivated. We're proud to have recorded this episode at the Ryan Lancaster Studios, our creative hub. Remember, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are solely those of Ryan Lancaster and our guests. Until next time, I'm Professor Ryan Lancaster, and this is the RPTM Podcast.
As we conclude this exciting journey through history on the Reasonably Priced Time Machine podcast, we hope you've enjoyed exploring the past with us while keeping your budget intact. From ancient civilizations to pivotal moments, we've uncovered the stories that shaped our world without breaking the bank. If you're eager to learn more, don't forget to check out the show notes and additional content on our website, ryanglancaster.com. And hey, if you've had as much fun as we have, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could take a moment to rate and review us on the platform you're tuning in from. Your feedback fuels our time-traveling adventures, ensuring we continue delivering engaging content. Thanks for joining us on this budget-friendly quest through time.